How's it going, guys? Today we'll be taking a look at GameSir's T4 Pro multi-platform wireless controller that retails at about 100 ringgit. You can use this controller with your iPhone or Android phone, iPad or any other tablets, Nintendo Switch and even your Windows PC for playing games. It secretly appears as an Xbox controller module when connected via Bluetooth, and it comes in really handy with a phone mount to amplify your mobile gaming experience. So if you're looking to pick up the best bang for your buck budget-friendly controller, then do consider sticking around. Hi, my name is Ken and welcome back to the channel where we talk about filmmaking, photography, iPad Pro related content and tech. If any of this piques your interest, consider subscribing to the channel as you may learn a thing or two from these videos. Here are all of the topics that we'll be discussing today. Sit back, relax and enjoy the video. Let's dive right in. Starting from the unboxing of this package, it comes in a really nice box with GameSir's logo on the top left corner, and the package is really solid. Taking a look inside what comes in the package, it comes with a couple of things, starting from the instruction manual. For the first time, I would strongly suggest to keep this manual with you, as it turns out I had problems even turning this controller on for the very first time, which we will talk about it in a second. Next, we have a bunch of stickers and pamphlets from GameSir. It also comes with a USB-A to Type-C cable to charge the controller. Next is a 2.4 GHz USB dongle to connect with your Windows PC with a lower latency connection when playing games. And of course, here is the T4 controller itself, but before that, the package also includes a retractable phone mount to be connected to the controller to mount your phone to the controller. And the last thing is the T4 Pro controller right here that looks somewhat like an Xbox controller ripoff, where the layout of the D-pads and joysticks are almost identical. And that is basically all that comes inside the box. Now moving on to the dimensions of the controller. Overall, the unit is about 16 cm in width, 12 cm in length and about 6 cm in height, and it weighs at about 210 grams. The build quality on the controller is fairly solid. From the looks of the Xbox wireless controller, they are almost identical. The T4 Pro controller's build is made out of transparent ABS plastic, which makes it possible to have a rainbow backlit keys when the controller is turned on. This array of light right here indicates what mode you are currently in, and we will talk about it in just a second. The joystick has a rubbery grip on it and it feels really good. The D-pad up, down, left and right, as well as the buttons right here also feels pretty clicky. You have your RT, RB and LT, LB buttons on the top of the controller, and the USB-C charging port is on the top as well. And at the bottom there are 4 additional programmable buttons from M1 to M4. At the back of the controller there is a quick setup configuration guide to switch between different platforms for ease of reference. And the last thing about the build quality is the grippy texture hole on the controller that is pretty comfortable for long hours of gaming. And the textured surface gives a good grip on the controller as well. Moving on to the features of the GameSir T4 Pro wireless controller, here is a list of everything advertised by GameSir. Xbox layout configuration with A, B, X and Y, and the positioning of the joystick and the D-pads. Multi-platform gaming controller between iOS, Android, Windows and Nintendo Switch. 6-axis gyroscope for control-sensitive games like Legend of Zelda, Mario Kart for Nintendo Switch games. Supports Apple Arcade and MFI certified games. Programmable buttons M1 to M4. Brightness adjustable backlit keys in RGB and Y. USB Type-C support for fast charging and wired connection. Adjustable asymmetric motor for vibration for game feedback. Linear trigger button for accurate controlling in-game, anti-slip rubber joysticks, and a 600 mAh battery capacity. You can check out all of the mentioned features from their website to know more about how any of these features work. I'll leave a link in the description box below, so feel free to check it out yourself. So here is my first impression of GameSir's T4 Pro controller after using it about 2 months playing Genshin Impact on my iPad Pro. I've been binge playing Genshin sometime last month, and for those of you who have played Genshin since the release of the game, it would be the 1-year anniversary mark. And I'm already at AR 50, and that shows how much I progressed in the game just over 2 months in. So back to the controller. To pair it with the iPad is fairly simple. To set up the controller with an iOS device, hit the home button and the B key. You can get this information quickly as from the guide behind the controller to connect to an iOS device. Long press the home button for about 2 seconds, the center array of LEDs will begin to flash, indicating that it is ready to be paired to the iPad. From the iPad's Bluetooth settings, the Xbox controller device name will appear. Simply hit connect and you are in. To power this thing down, press and hold the home button for 5 seconds and it will turn off. The next time you turn it on by long pressing the home button for 2 seconds, it will automatically be paired to the last game mode that you were in. So you don't have to press the home and B button every single time you turn it on. The pairing process of pressing the home button and a different button would vary based on whatever device that you are connecting. So be sure to look at the configuration buttons at the back and you should be good to go. The ergonomics and the feel of the buttons and keys on the GameSir T4 Pro is pretty nice. I haven't had any problems with the controller so far. Here is a quick ASMR spamming the controller while I play some Genshin Impact. Moving on, in case you are curious about the adjustable LED and vibration settings mentioned earlier, be sure to take a quick look at the instruction manual. You would probably find a lot of useful information right there. Like, this is the only manual that I would highly recommend you guys to keep because I couldn't figure out how to turn this controller on for the very first time. So surprisingly, you are able to adjust the brightness of the LEDs by simply holding RT, LT and right joystick while pressing the up and down D-pad. You can adjust up to 5 steps brighter or even with no RGB. Holding RB and LB will turn off the backlight completely. As mentioned earlier, there is a motor vibration system built in the controller. And fortunately, you get to also adjust up to 5 motor strength levels by holding the turbo key with up and down D-pad. So there is also a turbo function and the programmable M buttons at the bottom of the controller. So be sure to read through the entire instruction manual to find out more about it. As for my use case, I've never really used them. Moving on to the battery life of this controller, it is said to be able to last a solid 30 hours of gaming on a single charge, and I can attest that the battery life is pretty solid after banging through hours per day playing Genshin Impact. I find myself charging it a couple of times in a week, and it takes about an hour or so to fully charge. And you can even use the controller while charging, though I'm not sure if it will damage the battery health of the controller. There's also the phone mount that you can attach to the controller if you're into mobile gaming like Call of Duty Mobile and you would like to play on a controller. Take note that the adjustable clip extends up to only 10 cm long in width. Personally, I would prefer holding my phone in my hands when playing mobile games, even with Genshin Impact. So there are a couple of things that I've yet to test out, like actually playing it on a Switch with the 6-axis gyroscope feature, or connecting it to a Windows PC using the 2.4 GHz dongle. So do let me know in the comments down below if you would want me to test it out. All in all, for the price of about 100 ringgit, that's compared to a PS4 or Xbox One controller that costs about twice the price when compared to the GameSir T4 Pro controller, I personally think that if you are not a hardcore gamer that requires maximum comfort and you don't mind a lower grade budget option for a controller, I would highly recommend you guys to try this out. So I will leave it up to you guys to decide. And that is all for today's video. I hope you all found this insightful. If you have any questions at all, feel free to drop me a comment down below. I'll be sure to get back to you guys as soon as possible. Like the video if you actually enjoyed it and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I will see you in the next video. Stay safe, peace out, and bye bye.